whenever this type of geopolitical tensions comes, generally 6 to 7 months are months where gold and silver correct. So whatever the correction, consolidation, we can see till October. After October, there will be a fresh rally will start, and it will take another couple of years to test a new high.
Okay. Okay. Right.
See, now the economy are shifting from dollar to gold because we don't have any other currency which can replace dollar. Maybe we can see $8,000 for gold, $200 for silver, but that will take another couple of years. Post October, we are very bullish on gold and silver.
Hello and welcome to Macro Decode. The announcement of the US-Iran peace deal saw significant movement in the commodity market. If the reported US agreement is signed and leads to a sustained reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, sanctions relief, and a reduction in geopolitical tensions, it will have a considerable impact on the price movement of several major commodities, which will in turn support the global economy. To talk to us on this, we have Ajay Kedia, MD, Kedia Commodities. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So let's start with crude oil. The immediate reaction to the US-Iran deal has been a sharp fall in crude prices. Is the geopolitical risk premium completely out of the markets? How will the crude prices move in the near to medium term?
It will be very early to say right now because we have seen this war has started on 28th of Feb or since 1st of March till 15th of June. We have seen multiple statements coming from US or Donald Trump that every time he has won the war and settlement has been done. Currently, Brent is been around $83, $84. WTI is very close to $80 mark. Suggest yes, this time things have been going on. So one can say risk premium has come down, but still it's a very high time because 19 June, that means this Friday, is going to be more important. So before that, if suppose Israel or anything comes in the picture and let's say again this deal comes in a limbo, then definitely it is going to be there. But yes, risk premium, war premium, in fact, which was continuing to be there, has came down because before war has started, the average price was around 60 to $65 for Brent, and since then we have seen market made a high of 119.50. So almost we have seen market has corrected by 33%, but still some war premium are remaining as infrastructure that has been damaged can take time to reinstate. But yes, war premium has came down after the announcement of ceasefire in crude oil prices.
Okay.
The year has started, we were around $62 because of oversupply situation against the demand.
Yeah.
Now, currently, I'm expecting that US production is going to be on higher side. Whatever the consumption, what we have seen has been strictly, we can say, numbers, manufacturing numbers are down. So I think the range could be for Brent 105, 102 on a higher side, and downside I'm expecting a support at $77, $76 for Brent. Whereas for WTI, which is trading near to $80 mark, range could be around $94, $95 on higher side and $70 to $73 on lower side. Because it's very early to say that market has further correcting from here because energy infrastructure that has been damaged can take times to reinstate. So short term, it could be in range. It could be news driven, but yes, long term market can come down again.
Right. So how much additional oil can Iran realistically bring into the market if sanctions are eased? And what could that mean for the global crude balance?
So in last 3 years, there are two zones which is most important for supply. One is Black Sea area, and other is Middle East.
Right.
In Middle East, as we know, Iran is roughly having 140 to 170 million barrel of crude oil already floating or sea tank that could be easily coming in the market. And secondly, the production. Iran can ramp up its physical production by another 5 lakh to 7 lakh barrels per day within 3 to 6 months because already the things have been in line.
Iranian crude, if it returns to the market, how will it affect India's dependence on Russian crude? And we were also getting some discounts from the Russian for the Russian crude. So how will be the situation for Indian crude refiners?
So the relation between India, Russia, India, Iran
Hmm.
is not new. We know very well in 2016-17 when sanction was posed on Iran, then
Hmm.
India was the first country to buy crude from Iran because we know our economics. So
Right.
I think it does not impact much, but yes, whatever the shift we have seen from Iran to Russia
Right.
because of sanction and all,
Hmm.
that will slightly come down. But ultimately, see, we are more comfortable for Brent crude, and both the country gives a very good discount in past because of sanction on both the countries. So
Hmm.
I think it could be a number slightly lesser for Russia, slightly more for Iran, but ultimately our main supply hub would be from Iran and Russia.
Right. Okay. The conflict had also pushed some prices of aluminium and other base metals. Will a lasting peace deal, reverse the kind of gains that were made in the industrial metals, or will the supply side constraints continue in the near to medium term?
So yes, we have seen as soon as there was an announcement of war-like situation, immediate base metal gainer was aluminum prices. We have seen China smelting capacity has been on cap.
Yeah.
Because of that, all of a sudden there was a jump and story was going on that it can touch $4,000 mark on LME, and
Okay.
on domestic also we have very close to 400 level mark. But important to understand one thing is the energy cost, because with the high natural gas prices in Europe and crude oil prices was around $100, the cost of smelting in aluminum has gained sharply. Around 40 to 45% energy cost has gone up, and that is why we have seen the aluminum prices went up. But
Okay.
with the news of sanctions coming down, or Strait of Hormuz will be open, maybe this can create some pressure on aluminum prices,
Mm.
but all of a sudden it won't be crashing down because the demand for metal will continue to support. So I think a temporary pullback can be possible to the range of 3500, in LME, on domestic market 350, 360, but overall seems to be positive for aluminum.
Okay. What about the other base metals? They will also move in the same range?
So other base metal like copper, zinc, we are more bullish because whenever
Okay.
we want that economy has to go up,
Mm.
ultimately the consumption for these metals should go up. However, there is a surplus for copper, but with the concerns about trade tensions, inventories are already piled up. But I think the energy cost has went up. Then supply disturbance in Indonesia, Peru, Chile is continuously supporting. So we are more bullish on copper, aluminum, and zinc. It is a digital age. The consumption for AI, semiconductors, data center will continue to drive copper prices on higher side.
Right.
Second would be the zinc, because supply side concerns still there and demand is going to continue. Among the base metal, I would rank copper as a first, aluminum as a second, and zinc would be the next.
Okay. So coming to gold and silver prices, usually gold prices move up whenever there is a geopolitical tension. But in the recent US-Iran war, we have seen that gold has not been moving the way we had expected. From here on, what will be the trajectory of gold and silver prices?
Whenever there is a war like situation, pandemic like situation, generally we see gold silver prices goes up, but this is
Yes.
not a first time we have seen that. Since the war has started, gold prices has dropped by almost 25-26%. In fact, we can say silver prices has dropped more than 50%. We have seen a high of 121 and made a low of 61.75.
Mm.
But this is not a new thing. In 2008, 2022, same scenario has been already been witnessed. So I think whenever there is a war-like situation, a sell-off in all asset class create pressure on gold prices, and that is why some profit booking turned gold silver prices downside.
Mm.
But I think with the ceasefire news we have seen some recovery, but I doubt market seems to be slightly negative only, because what is happening, because of higher crude oil prices, inflation data from US, which was last time was around 3.8, has went up as 4.2. With
Right.
a higher interest rate, there is a high possibility in 2026 we can see a rate hike. But with a rate hike on front cards, we may see some consolidation or some pullback. On 17th of this month, we will be having a Fed new chairman speech. We have to see whether he will be more hawkish or dovish. But I am expecting a rate hike in 2026, which will cap the upside for gold and silver. Maybe a technical jump towards 44, 50, 4500 could be possible. But looking to the central bank selling ETF outflow, dollar index is holding 99 level mark, and other factors may bring the prices to the tune of 3600, 3500. And similar kind of movement for silver also, as silver is an industrial metal. High energy cost will impact the import of silver from China, India, and major countries. So maybe a jump towards 75, $76 in a short period can be seen, but we are expecting a drop towards $53. So maybe for next 3 months, gold and silver prices may be in sideways to negative movement. But
Okay.
yes, post all this war, we have always seen gold and silver has given a new high. Whenever this type of geopolitical tensions comes, generally 6 to 7 months are months where gold and silver correct. So
Okay.
whatever the correction, consolidation, we can see till October. After October, there will be a fresh rally will start, and it will take another couple of years to test a new high.
Okay. Okay. Right. Anyway, the gold and silver prices in the long term looks quite bullish.
Yeah, long term, I am very much bullish because see, we have to understand the terms of de-dollarization. See, now the economy are shifting from dollar to gold because we don't have any other currency which can replace dollar. So until and unless we don't have any currency, gold would be the currency that can replace. We have seen today without dollar we are transacting from Russia, Iran, and many other countries. Maybe we can see $8,000 for gold, $200 for silver, but that will take another couple of years. But till October, market would be under pressure. Post October, we are very bullish on gold and silver.
Right. So, what about the agri commodities? And what was the reaction in agri commodities on this US Iran deal? What were the commodities which stand to gain because the fertilizer prices are going to come down and the petroleum prices also are going to come down?
So generally, whenever we talk about the commodity super cycle, the cycle start from crude oil because that is a very sensitive commodity. Whenever there is any geopolitical tension, anything comes, crude prices react first. Then, as concerns are there and inflations are rising, generally the second gainer is gold and silver. And post gold and silver gain, we see the construction activity or economy building activity, which will support base metal. And last would be the agri commodity because of logistic cost with the fertilizer cost. So yes, with the war has started, we have seen edible oil complex has moved positively. The Strait of Hormuz that was totally closed from 8th of April, and raw material like urea and ammonia, which was been transit with Middle East, has totally stopped, and that is why the commodity like corn, wheat, oilseed has given a good positive because they are fertilizer intensive crop. I am expecting a good demand for agriculture commodity because post war generally the pipelines were empty and now they are reinstating them. So I think a very good rally in agri commodity we can see.
Okay, so the near term, there could be some kind of a drop because the fertilizers will probably be available for most of the agriculture commodities. And then from there on, will there be a rally?
First of all, with a falling rupee, our export would be more attractive. Secondly, now because of war, pipelines are totally empty. Third is the El Nino. In fact, we should say Super El Nino. Because of that, this year food grain production is going to be impacting, and because of that, maybe the hoarding activity can be seen in the market. And next 6 to 12 months, we are more bullish on agri commodity because of weather, because of geopolitical tension, because of shortage of fertilizer.
Okay. Generally, are we witnessing a kind of structural shift in the commodity markets, or it's merely a short-term correction driven by geopolitics?
Two new thing has been observed in commodity market. Previously, see, financial player doesn't look on commodity because they are more busy in we can say equity, mutual fund, and other asset class.
Right.
But in last couple of years, we have seen the shift from financial product to commodity as a opportunity. We have seen many new fund house has came out with a multi asset. AIF, SIF, and family offices are being keen for commodity. So
Mm.
yes, we can say long-term structural shift has been there because of geopolitical tension, weather condition. But now important is the participation has increased in agriculture commodity.
Mm.
So I think yes, structural shift has been there with the fundamentals. We suggest commodity has to go up with the participation going on and on. I think the volatility and gains would be more sharp what we used to see in past.
In this scenario, how should the commodity investors position themselves? And the geopolitical risk appears to be declining, but economic uncertainty still is quite high.
Commodity is a leading indicator for equity market, also for any other market, because generally whenever supply and demand is disturbed, immediately reaction would be seen on commodity, and from commodity to sector and sector to stock.
Mm.
Avoid chasing the crude oil futures. Rotation to soft commodity and agri business would be more important, because with the falling input cost, so overall gold and silver should be in either portfolio, but I would say gold and silver should be there in your portfolio to the tune of 80 to 20%, but
Correct.
also look for other metals like base metal and agri commodity also.
So after this announcement of the US-Iran peace deal, we have seen most of the commodities cooling off. There will be a slight negative, movement in the commodity market, but things are looking bullish for several other commodities, especially base metals, gold and silver, and even agri commodities. So that was Mr. Ajay Kedia, MD of Kedia Commodities, talking to us on what could be the trajectory of agri commodities, metals, as well as energy prices in the near to medium term. Thank you for joining me on the show, sir.
Thank you so much.